Okay, I'm going to do is eat. Guys, video 2, and that is on consistency. So give it up for your girl. Hope you guys have been well since the last video. I saw a lot of your comments under the last video. You guys haven't run away or something. You guys are still here and I love it. Thank you. Today is different. We are doing a story time today where I'm going to be gisting you guys how the first 2 weeks of my being in England went. And as you guys already know, there is no story without a microphone. Maybe there are stories without microphones, but I'm telling my own story with this microphone so that you guys at the back can hear me. Can you hear me? Am I really going to be holding this microphone throughout this shoot? I'll try. I'll drop it when I can't. I'll drop it when I can't. My first 2 weeks in England at my accommodation almost tore me to pieces. I forgot my microphone. I'll just you guys. So when I was back in Nigeria looking for an accommodation, once I got my admission, shun. Anyways, guys, back to the point. When I was looking for my accommodation and literally there was nothing in Southampton. This is where I school, so it only makes sense that I stay here. The only problem was my accommodation because I didn't know anyone in Southampton, and I started to think of where I would stay. I narrowed it down to I had to get a place, so I started searching for a place, and trust me, I got my admission late, so all the places were like fully booked. Students had booked all the student places and affordable places. The only place I could really get was a private hall, and I didn't mind staying. I was going to be back being a student anyways, but it was really good, clean, everything looked good from Nigeria, and I was happy about it. I paid, and then I traveled and came. Forgot my microphone. To you, my guy. Anyways, the day I got to Southampton, I was really excited. My accommodation looked really nice, and I went in, I met some guys. They were mostly guys in my accommodation, really nice guys. They were pretty chilled. They did their own thing and stuff. Anyways, the first day I got into my accommodation, they were so welcoming. However, we had like 3 floors, and I was on the topmost floor, then they were on the middle floor, and there was this free floor on the last floor that yeah, it was free. So now the topmost floor where I was the only one that had resumed. We were 4. We were supposed to be 4. I was the only one that had resumed. They were on their own floor, just right beneath my floor, and they had 4 of them there. They were friends. They took the place together. I got to my floor. Let me correct that. I wasn't the only one that had resumed. So there was someone already on my floor. And this is my floor mate who died. So I met him, and he was a white guy. Bless his soul. I said hi to him. The first day I got to the floor, I'm like, hi. And he looked at me like this, and he looked away. I'm like, eh? Anyways. So I said, you know what, we are going to redo this thing because we are going to be on the same floor, and we have to talk. Maybe not be friends, we don't really care about that, but we have to talk. Why won't you say hi back to me when I say hi? So now the next day I was really determined to say hi and introduce myself. I told you guys that we were supposed to be 4 on the floor, so 2 guys at this side, 2 girls at this side. And yeah, now the next day I had said to myself that I'm going to say hi to him when I see him, but I heard like a little noise outside my room, kind of on the floor, early morning. So I didn't open the door, but I had a look through the hole, and I saw this guy on the floor, literally naked. You guys, I didn't know what to do. I gave him time. I wanted to pee, but I couldn't even leave outside my room because I was terrified. I was literally terrified. Every time I needed to go to the bathroom, I was always so scared because this guy was always naked. So I was so confused as to how I was supposed to survive. Now I took matters into my own hands, and then I went to meet the management, and I'm like, how am I supposed to leave? I remember the next morning I went to the reception, and I wasn't yelling, but I was in my feelings. I was so emotional. I'm like, I've traveled all the way from Nigeria to come and study this course now, and I have chosen this place as my accommodation, and now you guys, I am so terrified. I can't live with myself. If they had my time, people that had collected their money and they were just looking at me like, huh? You guys, they literally said that there was nothing they could do, and you know, they couldn't throw him out of the apartment because there is a was procedure that they have to follow. You know, they can't just throw anybody out. So I said, okay, so I'm supposed to keep living like this. Do you guys have any other accommodation that you guys can move me to? They said no, that I have to manage any other floor, any other place, because guys, I knew that I couldn't manage. I knew that I couldn't manage. I left Nigeria and I came here with a fire. Like, I was starting all over my masters now. I was starting school again. I felt like I was starting life again, and I needed that spark. I needed to be around people and in a place that I could, you know, flourish, not where such would be happening. So now I think the fourth day or something, I went downstairs to buy stuff. As I was coming upstairs, my other flatmates, they approached me and they're like, can you smell stuff in the house? So I'm like, what's smelling? Guys, I started smelling stuff in the house, and we realized that this guy had started peeing everywhere, literally peed in the lounge. So my other housemates had like made the lounge really pretty. They got like a rug, they got a TV. So now this guy had gone to the living room, he had smashed the TV, he had peed on their rug, he had smashed the ironing board. We couldn't use the kitchen because flies were entering our kitchen because this guy was literally peeing everywhere. Now his problem was he was an alcoholic, so he would drink anything away. He wouldn't eat. We didn't used to see him downstairs in the kitchen, but we only used to see him downstairs either when he has fallen on the staircase or he's downstairs to collect a new order, a new like batch of alcohol. And my guy didn't used to mix anything. He just, like, we would see him on the staircase just drinking and falling, literally like that. This became so much for me. I couldn't leave my room. I was so scared. I wanted to reach out to mental health safe, but you guys, I just come within 1 week. I'll not be reaching out to mental health. They'll just say me to a mad. I brought madness from where I was coming from. So before they sit down on me, I just calmed down. And low-key, I thought I was going to pay for it, so I didn't reach out. But I didn't know it was free. If you're in the UK, say like a mental therapist under NHS is very, very free, but I didn't know that. So I was scared. I didn't want to spend my own money, at least not mental health. Let me spend it on clothes or something. I'm just joking. At some point, I sparingly used to come out of my room. I would just order food, go downstairs, collect in bulk. I got a fridge for my room because I couldn't leave my room. I would store everything in my room. I got a microwave. I didn't want to leave my room, even though there was like a kitchen downstairs. And all I used to do was like send messages to the management. I used to just pump them with messages of how, you know, I can't do this, they should refund me, they should do something, this is not nice, this is not fair, what are the rest of us supposed to do? Look, this is an example of a message I sent to them. One day I was really frustrated. This is another one, this is another one. I kept on sending messages, guys, but all they kept saying was, you know, this guy had, like, just like every one of us, there's a procedure to be followed. So we said, okay. Just that we couldn't really function in the house again. We couldn't use anything in the house. My other flatmates manned up one day and then they went to meet him and they're like, or one of them at least went to meet him and said, what's wrong with you? Like, you can't keep messing the house up for everybody. We all paid for it. And like, what's the problem? What's wrong with you? He was so drunk. He looked at my flatmate and I think he cried, and he said that he had no friend and asked that if he quits, you know, drinking the way he used to, my housemate and his friends, like the group of boys, will they be his friend? And like, they were not even having it. They said that, you know what, quit drinking first, and then, you know, we can have a conversation. But for now, all we're asking is that you stop drinking, you stop messing up everywhere, you stop messing up everything. And he said okay. Later that night, we found him on the staircase, injured, blood coming out of his head. We called police. They said they couldn't do anything. We should call hospital. We called NHS. Emergency came. They took him away. He was back somehow to the apartment the next day. 2 days after, I was in my room. You guys, just like that, I was in my room. I think I saw him the next day when he was coming upstairs, when he left the hospital. And you know, he still had like an hospital vest, and he wasn't wearing slippers or something, and he was staggering as he was entering the building. And I saw him, but in my head I'm just like, why did they let him out of the hospital not so soon? I didn't know that that was the last day I was going to see him. He came inside the house. Now, how he died exactly, I'm not so sure. But on this fateful day, I was in my room. I was arranging my stuff. Next thing, one of my flatmates texted me and said, what's going on? I'm like, huh? Because we even hardly speak, except we need 1 or 2 favors from each other, which is, for me, I was on the topmost floor and there wasn't any elevator in my apartment, so whenever I needed to carry something very heavy, I could just drop them a message that, please, when you guys are on your way up, if you could please help me with my so and so water or whatever. Really nice guys, really nice guys. So one of them texted me and said what was going on. I said, I don't understand what's going on. So he says, is anything wrong in the apartment? And then I'm like, no. But I looked again through my people, and then I just saw like the receptionists, they had run upstairs to his room. Next thing, I saw like people from outside as well. Like, I'm not sure who those people were, but they ran into his room as well. Then I saw the receptionists again run out of his room, and at this point both of them were crying. So I texted my other housemate. I'm like, why are they crying? I was just very fixated on my peephole. In my head, I first thought they were ready to evacuate this boy, so I was low-key happy that I beg, you push come and carry this boy, carry him away. I didn't know that something else had happened to him. Next thing, investigation team, like with investigation written everywhere, and they rushed in. And before I knew it, like someone just knocked on my door. People were going around on my other flatmates, knocking on our doors, turn by turn. Do not touch anything. We need you to leave the premises right now. Kilosh, do not do anything. Leave the premises right now. Okay, we left with just our phones, and they kept us downstairs in the gaming room. We're there for like, this happened like maybe 2 p.m. We're there till like 11 p.m. guys. 11 p.m. we were there. We couldn't pick anything up until later, maybe around past 11 p.m. we saw them wheel out his body. If he committed suicide, if he died by alcoholism, or maybe he was sick and the drinking made it worse. What really happened, I'm not sure. But that day was the day that, you know, he left our building. I don't know if they were waiting for all of us to sleep or night time, just so we don't like know what's going on. But it was so devastating to see that the young man, he was maybe my age or even younger. I'm not sure it was up to my age. Maybe he was like 25. It was just very sad to see him lose his battle, you know, like that. Somehow, I don't know, sometimes I still think about it and I'm like, was he depressed? Or I'm not sure what happened to him. Because at the same time, the accommodation people said they were reaching out to his family too, and they were not just being so responsive. So if it was a matter of rejection from outside people, or if he was just depressed, or if he couldn't handle, or if there was something happening to him at that point in life and he couldn't handle, I don't know. All I know is that we were students, like we were in a private hall together, and we could only be in that hall because we were students. He was a student like me, and you know, that happened to him. Later that night, when they took out his body, they eventually took us all to our rooms. Like, they literally followed us individually to our rooms to pick out one item or two that we'll be needing for the next couple of days. But they were watching everything we touched, like, don't touch anything else, because they wanted to investigate or whatever. We were there, we packed all our things. They moved us to like private accommodations where we were individually placed so we could like get over what happened, and we're there for like a week, I kid you not, before they moved us back to our normal accommodation. Within this 1 week, we heard that, you know, police came, people came, they took bits and pieces of the house, pieces, you know, to investigate and to do all of these things. It was such a devastating time for me and the other housemates. I mean, every day we used to check up on each other. We would literally text ourselves and say, hope you're all right, hope you're fine, hope everything is okay with you. One of the days, I literally saw one of my housemates cry like a grown man. He was crying. He had it up to here. He was done. After about a week, we were told to go back to our accommodation. Till today, we weren't told anything. We requested that we know what happened to, you know, our housemates. They said they're so sorry, they cannot tell us, they can't disclose. We just wanted to know what really happened, because days after then, whilst the investigation was still going on, that's how police came and said there's a court case. Appear in court and give their side of the story. That person is not me. I said no. I wasn't going to go. But obviously, one of the guys in the house said he was going to go. The guy that had spoken to the guy before he died, that told him to stop, you know, drinking. And, you know, that guy that had the conversation with him said he was going to go. And then he came to meet me and said if they needed like more evidence, because I'm on his floor, so I literally witnessed it firsthand. I saw like days where he would literally just fall on the floor, and I won't be able to move because he's stuck naked on the floor. So the guy had asked me if, you know, I'll be happy to come, and then, you know, he was nice and he asked properly. So I said, that's if they need. If they don't need, don't call my name. Do not call my name, because I don't want to be there. But, you know, should they need me as a witness, okay, I'll do it. Anyways, guys, that's how we lost our housemates, and that's how I lost my floor mates the first week of resumption. Whew, guys, it was so tough. After they moved us in, literally look through my peephole and I would just see him there, like in my head. It was so tough to get it out of my head. But I prayed and prayed. I was always speaking to family. I was always speaking to my best friend, AI, at that time. I would go online to read things to encourage and inspire me. I would call their therapy line from time to time. You know, I just had like really nice and good support system all around me, so I could function somehow. Days after that, they had to start clearing out his room. Even people that would come to clean his room, they would double up on their mask because he had vomited and pooed and peed in his room everywhere. And we had flies entering the building as well, so it was really tough. Anyways, everything about that episode is now over, and I'm thankful to God for bringing me out of that headspace where I constantly thought that someone died, and, you know, it made me feel terrible to even do anything. But I'm thankful to God that I'm in a better place now. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for making it thus far. If you want to see more of my videos and hear about my experiences here in the UK, do not forget to hit that subscribe button. That's how you're going to get to hear more experiences and see more videos. Comment down in the comment section. Let me know just how you feel. Do not also forget to give this video a thumbs up. I'll be seeing you guys in my next video. Till then, you know the vibes. It's peace and love. Bye guys. Mwah.